Have you ever woken up at exactly 3 a.m. for no apparent reason? Your eyes snap open, the house is silent, and there's this strange feeling in the air, like reality itself has shifted. Most people roll over and go back to sleep, completely unaware that they just missed the most powerful window of manifestation that exists in the entire 24-hour cycle. The ancient Stoics knew something about this hour that modern science is only now beginning to understand, and what they discovered will completely change how you think about your reality, your frequency, and your power to shape your life. By the end of this video, you'll understand why 3 a.m. isn't just a time on the clock. It's a cosmic doorway, and once you learn how to use it, your entire frequency will never be the same. This is where stars begin, and today we're unlocking the 3 a.m. phenomenon. Let's start with something you've probably experienced but never understood. You wake up at 3 a.m. Not because of a noise, not because you need the bathroom. You just wake up and there's this feeling, this presence, like you're more awake at 3 a.m. than you are at 3 p.m. Ancient Stoic philosophers called this hour the hour of the philosophers. They believed that between 3 and 4 a.m., the veil between the material world and the cosmic consciousness becomes paper thin. Marcus Aurelius would wake before dawn, sometimes at 3 a.m. to write his meditations, not by accident, not out of discipline alone, but because he understood that this hour carried a different frequency, a different energy, a different kind of truth. Epictetus taught his students that the early morning hours were when the mind was closest to the divine logos, the universal reason that governs all things. He said, "At this hour, you are not yet corrupted by the day's illusions." But here's what's fascinating. They weren't just being poetic. They were tapping into something real, something measurable, something that modern quantum physics and neuroscience are now confirming. At 3 a.m., three cosmic forces align. First, the Earth's electromagnetic field reaches its lowest point of disturbance. The noise of human consciousness, billions of thoughts, fears, and desires bouncing through the collective field, quiets down. Second, your brain enters a unique liminal state. If you wake naturally at this hour, you're catching yourself between sleep cycles, in a moment where your subconscious mind is most accessible and your conscious filters are weakest. Third, and this is the part that changes everything, your pineal gland, often called your third eye or your cosmic antenna, reaches peak melatonin production. This isn't just about sleep. Melatonin is the bridge between your physical body and your energetic frequency. The Stoics didn't have EEG machines or quantum field theory, but they knew, they felt it, and they used it. Now, let's talk about what frequency actually means in the context of your reality. Everything in the universe vibrates. Your thoughts vibrate, your emotions vibrate, your beliefs vibrate, and these vibrations send out signals into the quantum field, the invisible fabric of reality that responds to consciousness. The law of attraction teachers got this part right. Like attracts like. High frequency attracts high frequency experiences. Low frequency attracts low frequency experiences. But here's what they got wrong. They told you to raise your vibration by thinking positive thoughts and feeling good emotions all day long. And when you try this, what happens? You exhaust yourself, you fake it, you suppress your real feelings, and nothing changes. Why? Because you're trying to shift your frequency during the noisiest part of the day, when your signal is competing with billions of other signals, when your conscious mind is cluttered with 1,000 distractions, and when your ego is in full control. The Stoics understood something profound. You don't change your frequency by forcing positive thoughts. You change your frequency by accessing the still point beneath all thoughts, and that still point is most accessible at 3 a.m. Think of it like this. During the day, you're trying to tune a radio in the middle of a crowded marketplace. There's static everywhere, competing signals, noise pollution, You can barely hear the station you want, but at 3 a.m., the marketplace is empty, the static fades, and suddenly you can tune into any frequency you want with crystal clarity. This is why your manifestations aren't working during your morning affirmations. You're shouting into a hurricane. At 3 a.m., you're whispering into silence, and silence is where the universe listens. So what exactly did the Stoics do at this hour? And more importantly, what can you do? Let me give you the ancient practice, updated for modern understanding. This is the Cosmic Stoic 3 a.m. protocol. And I'm warning you now, this is not for the casual observer. This is for people who are serious about permanently shifting their frequency. Step 1. The waking. If you naturally wake at 3 a.m., don't fight it. This isn't insomnia, this is invitation. The universe is tapping you on the shoulder. Your higher self is saying, we need to talk. If you don't naturally wake at this hour, set an intention before sleep. I invite myself to wake at 3 a.m. to align with cosmic frequency. Do this for 7 days. Your body will respond. But here's the Stoic key. You must wake without alarm. An alarm jolts you into beta brainwave state, the state of doing, thinking, controlling. You want to wake naturally into alpha or theta state, the state of being, receiving, allowing. Step 2, the stillness. When you wake, don't turn on lights. Don't check your phone. Don't do anything. Sit in darkness, in silence, for at least 3 minutes. Marcus Aurelius wrote, confine yourself to the present. At 3 a.m., the present is all that exists. The past hasn't woken up yet. The future hasn't been imagined yet. You are suspended in pure now. This is the frequency shift beginning. Your brain waves are naturally in the theta state, the same state experienced meditators spend years trying to achieve. You're getting it for free simply by honoring this hour. Step 3, the cosmic question. Now the Stoics would ask themselves one question, not a desperate question, not a fearful question, a neutral, curious question. What wants to emerge through me? Not what do I want, not how do I get what I desire, but what wants to emerge. This is the difference between force and flow, between ego and cosmos, between low frequency and high frequency. When you ask, what wants to emerge through me? At 3 a.m., something extraordinary happens. Your subconscious mind, which has been processing your life while you slept, begins to speak. Your intuition, which is drowned out during the day, becomes loud and clear. And the cosmic field itself, that invisible intelligence that organizes galaxies and grows flowers, begins to download information directly into your consciousness. Step 4, the assumption. Here's where Stoicism and the law of attraction merge into something powerful. The Stoics practiced what they called premeditatio malorum, imagining worst-case scenarios to remove their fear. But they also practiced something else, something less talked about. Premeditatio bonorum, imagining the ideal state as if it already exists. At 3 a.m. in this quiet, receptive state, you're going to practice assumption, but not the desperate assumption of, I hope this comes true. The calm, detached assumption of, this already is true in the quantum field. I'm simply aligning with the frequency where it exists. Choose one thing, just one. Don't dilute your signal. See it, feel it. But here's the Stoic twist. Feel it with detachment. Feel it the way you feel about yesterday's breakfast. It happened, it's done, it's real. But you're not emotionally attached to it. This is the frequency of already having. This is the frequency that magnetizes reality to you. Spend 5 minutes in this state, no more. The power isn't in the duration. It's in the purity of the signal. Step 5, the release. And here's the most important part, the part that most law of attraction teachers completely miss. After 5 minutes of assumption, you release it completely. The Stoics called this amor fati, love of fate. You've sent your signal into the cosmos. Now you trust the cosmos to deliver it in whatever form and timing serves your highest good. You don't obsess about it during the day. You don't check for signs. You don't desperately try to make it happen. You live your day with focus on what's in front of you, with presence, with discipline, because here's the secret: attachment is low frequency. Detachment is high frequency. When you're attached to an outcome, you're broadcasting the frequency of lack. I need this. I don't have this. Please let me have this. When you're detached, you're broadcasting the frequency of abundance. I've planted the seed. I trust the harvest. I return to the work of being excellent today. This is why the Stoics were so powerful. They didn't chase. They aligned and allowed. Now, I know some of you are thinking, this sounds mystical. Where's the proof? Let's talk science. Neuroscience. Studies show that between 3 and 4 a.m., if you wake naturally, your brain is in theta state, 4 to 8 hertz frequency. This is the same state where your subconscious programming lives. It's also the state where your brain is most neuroplastic, meaning it can rewire itself most easily. When you're in theta state and you imagine something, your brain cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. It creates the same neural pathways as if the experience actually happened. This is why visualization works, but only when you're in the right brainwave state. During the day, you're in beta state, 12 to 30 hertz. Your critical mind is active. Your imagination has no power. At 3 a.m., your critical mind is offline. Your imagination becomes reality-shaping force. The quantum field responds to observation and intention. But here's what most people miss. It responds most powerfully to coherent intention. During the day, your intention is scattered across 1,000 desires, fears, and distractions. At 3 a.m., your intention can become laser-focused, coherent, undivided. Coherent intention creates what physicists call constructive interference, when waves align and amplify each other. Scattered intention creates destructive interference. When waves cancel each other out, you've been cancelling out your own manifestations by scattering your signal. The 3 a.m. phenomenon gives you the coherence you need. Electromagnetic biology. Your body is electric. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your body. Your brain generates its own field, and these fields are constantly interacting with Earth's electromagnetic field. Earth's electromagnetic field, called the Schumann resonance, fluctuates throughout the day based on solar activity, human activity, and natural cycles. At 3 a.m., it reaches its quietest point in most locations, when external electromagnetic noise is low. Your personal field becomes more powerful and more influential. Your signal reaches further. Your frequency broadcasts clearer. The Stoics didn't know about Schumann resonance, but they knew about cosmic cycles, about the importance of aligning with natural rhythms, about working with universal forces rather than against them. They were practicing applied quantum physics 2,000 years before we had the language to explain it. So, what happens when you actually do this? When you honor the 3 a.m. phenomenon consistently? First, within 3 to 7 days, you'll notice your intuition sharpening. Ideas that would normally take you weeks to figure out will drop into your consciousness fully formed. You'll know things without knowing how you know them. This is your connection to the cosmic intelligence strengthening. The Stoics called it aligning with the Logos. Modern spirituality calls it connecting with Source. Call it whatever you want. The result is the same. You become a channel for intelligence beyond your personal mind. Second, within 2 to 4 weeks, you'll notice synchronicities multiplying. The right people appear, the right opportunities open, the right information finds you, not because you're lucky, because your frequency has changed and the quantum field responds to frequency. The law of attraction teachers are right about this. You do attract your reality, but they're wrong about how. You don't attract it by wanting it. You attract it by becoming the frequency of already having it. And you become that frequency most powerfully in the silence of 3 a.m. Third, within 1 to 3 months, your entire life will begin to reorganize itself around your new frequency. Things that don't match your frequency will fall away. This might feel uncomfortable. Jobs might end, relationships might shift, old patterns might break. This is not punishment. This is alignment. The universe is clearing space for what matches your new frequency. The Stoics called this sympathia, the mutual interdependence of all things in the cosmos. When you change your frequency, the cosmos must rearrange itself to match. It's not magic, it's physics. Fourth, and this is the permanent transformation, you will develop what the Stoics called apatheia. Not apathy, but freedom from being controlled by circumstances. Because once you experience the power of the 3 a.m. frequency shift, once you feel yourself consciously aligning with cosmic intelligence, once you witness reality responding to your internal state, you realize something profound. You are not a victim of reality. You are a co-creator of reality. And that realization changes everything, forever. But I need to give you a warning. This practice is not for everyone. And that's not gatekeeping, that's honesty. If you approach the 3 a.m. phenomenon with desperation, with neediness, with the energy of, I need this to work because my life is falling apart, it won't work. Actually, it might make things worse. Why? Because you'll be broadcasting desperation at the exact moment when your signal is most powerful. And the universe will respond to desperation by giving you more situations that make you feel desperate. The Stoics understood this. They taught that before you can practice these advanced techniques, you must first develop what they called prosos, attention, presence, mindfulness. You must first learn to observe your thoughts without being controlled by them, to feel your emotions without being ruled by them, to want things without being enslaved by wanting. If you're not there yet, start there. Practice basic Stoic principles during the day. Notice when you're trying to control things outside your control. Practice accepting what is, even as you work to change it. Develop the discipline to focus on your response rather than external circumstances. Build the strength to want nothing desperately. Then, when you're ready, when you've developed that inner stillness during waking hours, the 3 a.m. practice will amplify your power exponentially. But if you skip the foundation, you're just going to use cosmic power to reinforce your existing patterns of lack, fear, and desperation. The universe doesn't judge you for this, but it does respond to your frequency, whatever that frequency is. So here's my invitation to you. Tonight, before you sleep, set the intention. If it serves my highest good, I invite myself to wake at 3 a.m. If you wake, don't force anything. Just sit in the darkness, in the silence, for even 3 minutes. Feel the difference in the energy. Notice the quality of your consciousness. Observe how different 3 a.m. feels from 3 p.m. You don't have to do the full protocol tonight. Just experience the phenomenon. Witness it for yourself. Because the greatest teachers are not other people. The greatest teacher is your own direct experience. The Stoics weren't asking you to believe them. They were inviting you to test their principles against reality. They were saying, try this. See what happens. Let your experience be your proof. That's what I'm saying to you now. Try the 3 a.m. phenomenon. Not once, not twice, but for 7 days. Give it a real experiment and then watch what happens to your frequency. Watch what happens to your reality. Watch what happens to your life. You might discover what the ancient Stoics discovered, that you have far more power than you've been taught, that the universe is far more responsive than you've been told, that reality is far more fluid than it appears, and that the doorway to all of this has always been available to you every single night at exactly 3 a.m. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "The universe is change, life is opinion." What he meant was this: reality itself is constantly shifting, constantly fluid, constantly responding to consciousness. And your opinion, your perspective, your frequency, your internal state determines which version of reality you experience. At 3 a.m., when the noise fades and the veil thins, you have the power to choose your frequency with absolute clarity. You can choose the frequency of lack, fear, and desperation, or you can choose the frequency of abundance, trust, and cosmic alignment. The choice has always been yours. The power has always been within you. The universe has always been listening. The only question is, will you meet it at 3 a.m.? This is where stars begin. And now you know when and where they truly begin. In the silence, in the stillness, in the sacred hour when the cosmic and the personal merge into one frequency. The hour is calling you. Will you answer? I'll see you at 3 a.m. where the stars begin. If this video changed how you see reality, subscribe to Where Stars Begin. We're building a community of Cosmic Stoics, people who understand that discipline and manifestation aren't opposites, they're partners. Drop a comment. I'll meet you at 3 a.m. Let's create a field of intention together. The universe is waiting. Your frequency is shifting. Your transformation has already begun.